All right, welcome. I got my cameras right there. Welcome everybody to another broadcast. It's been a couple of days, I think. It's been a couple of days. Yeah, I've been kind of taking some time off, and but I'm back now with my lovely wife. She's not sitting here right now, but she'll be joining us. Welcome to our health and wellness update news broadcast. This is going to be an opportunity for you to dial in, and we'll have an opportunity for you to call in with any questions that you may have regarding health and wellness. And we'll do the best we can to answer them for you, because that is what we want. We want to see people who are healthy and well, and we want to address that and do the best we can to help people with that whole situation. Okay, so that's what we're going to be dealing with today. We're going to, like I said again, we're going to be diving into some news too, and some important things that we do need to be talking about. So give us about a minute or so, and then we're going to go ahead and begin. Okay. Make sure at the same time you check out our website, sambatrees.com. All right. All right, yeah. Today we're still in a here in Arizona. We're still in a winter storm warning. Can you believe it? We're in a winter storm warning here in Arizona. It is 99 degrees. We're under 100 degrees, so it's a winter storm warning out here in Arizona. And the rest of y'all out there towards the East Coast, I understand that y'all are under a heat advisory. Oh my goodness, the world is coming to an end here. Arizona, we're in a winter storm warning. and the rest of the country, well, you guys get ready to bake a little bit. You getting ready to get a little taste of what we get out here on the regular. So, but yeah, no, it's trust me. I'm born and raised on the East Coast. I know all about when it's a different kind of heat. But the heat out here in Arizona, let me tell you something. It's like it's the only place I believe Satan won't even show up. I'm serious. I don't even think he will bother coming here. Ironically, Arizona State University, their mascot is the Sun Devils. See, they can make fun of the devil because they know he ain't gonna show up as hot as it is out here. But yeah, for those of you out there on the East Coast, make sure you take good care of yourself. They got some winter storm warning, heat advisory. They got that going on for y'all. So do take that very seriously. They also have been talking about the possibility of the grid going down, at least partial. I did read somewhere, I think it was in New York, where the grid went down a little bit in some parts of New York. It's not good, so you want to always think along those lines, like, dang, what can I do to protect myself in the event of an emergency like that? I want to give a big shout out to Willie. Willie, let me say something to you, bro. You are always here. As soon as I hit that live button, you are always here. You're always popping up. Man, big shout out to you. I appreciate that. I really do. And it definitely doesn't go unnoticed, man. I really appreciate that. And for everybody else that's on this ride, on this journey with us, we want to say welcome, welcome, welcome. I still got to train my eye here because I have a camera here that I usually look at. But today, because it's both of us, I thought that was my music still playing. I'm using this main camera here. So yeah, a lot that we're going to cover today. But it's going to be an opportunity too for you to call in, and we'll put the phone number up in a little bit. If you have any questions at all regarding health and wellness and anything like that, because listen, y'all, we have to take this very seriously, especially when it comes to the mind, I cannot not stress that enough. I mean, the amount of things I have been coming across and reading when it comes to people's minds, their state of mind in these days that we're in right now. I can't even begin to stress the importance of us making sure that we are prioritizing our minds and the health of our minds. We have to prioritize this. I mean, that's not even a maybe or whatever. You must do this. I am seeing and hearing different things of coming from different ones of people who are just flipping out. I mean, they're just tuning out. I saw this thing the other day. It was yesterday. Just to give you just a taste of what I'm talking about. I'm on Twitter and I see this post of this guy, he did a post. I don't know if it was originally for TikTok or whatever, but it was on X, it was on Twitter. And on the post he had on there, he said, "Did you hear that 35 black girls are missing in DC?" I said, "No, this Negro ain't doing this." But he said it. He said there are 35 missing black girls in DC and the mainstream media ain't talking about it. And so I was like, no, he's not doing this. In other words, listen, of course, initially you hear something like that, you should be alarmed, right? We should care, right? And we do. And we do take those things seriously. You know, it's very serious. But I already knew that this guy was gaslighting folk. I already knew. And all it took for me was to sit there and I watched the video clip. It was probably about, the video itself was a little over a minute. And what this guy did was basically took some of y'all, I'm sure many of y'all remember a few years ago, this is going back to, I think it was 2017. You remember that story that came out, with the missing black girls and, we got to find our we got to find our girls. We got to protect our women. You remember all of that? I think this was all the way back in 2017. And so anyway, come to find out, I shared this before, come to find out the chief of police was a black woman. She basically came out and said, no, they're all, we know where they are. We either know where they are and they're safe, or we know where they are and they're not wanting to come home, because many of these girls are in fact runaways. And once that came out, all of a sudden now it's not an important story anymore. But anyway, what this guy did, this is in 2025. He took that story from 2017, clips of that story, and then he combined it with a more recent story. And then he put them together to make it seem as if that this was something that was current. And so I said, okay, maybe I'm being a little bit too analytical here. Maybe let me step back and let me be even more analytical. Okay, how about that? And so I said, let me look up the names of these girls on here, because maybe this is something that just happened. Maybe I don't know. Maybe I'm in the dark. And sure enough, I looked it up. And yes, absolutely what I told you he did. And I'm looking at the comments of people saying, oh, Lord, we're going to have to do something. Y'all, we're going to have to pray. The world is this and that or whatever. And comment after comment after comment after comment, people were just falling for it. And this guy basically outright lying, causing all this angst and people getting all hyped up and all of that. And all it took is to look at it. Let me find out. Let me do a little bit of digging here. And I actually saw a couple of people in the comment section. They was like, well, the only story I could find was back in 2017. what's my point in bringing that up? My point is something that I have said and I will continue to say, is that there are many people out here who are firmly committed in making sure that you are not mentally well, okay? So they're going to put out all kinds of things on social media. No, it ain't the CIA. No, it ain't MI6. No, it ain't the FBI. It's Negro, okay? The NGO. It's the NGO, okay? The NGO, the NEGRO, NEGRO. Negro was his name. Oh, I'm trying to tell you. Unfortunately, this is the case. This is the case. And I've seen numbers of things like that come on my timeline of people who put stuff out here and they don't even think about the ramifications on and the impact it will have on people as they're reading this stuff. You know, we spend a lot of time talking about the media and the dark hands, the secret hands that are behind the media and the stuff that they put out. It's bad enough. We got to deal with that. We got to deal with this other stuff too. People put stuff out there, half truths about things. And, you know, you find out they think, oh, you know, the cops came after this person and they, you know, didn't even question. They just kicked down the doors and shot everybody. And then it's like, oh, Lord, we're going to have to, okay, we got to mount up. We got to do our protest again. Then you find out the story was actually opposite. You know, it'll be something like that. And I've seen so many people run with this. What's my point in bringing this up? My point in bringing this up is we are in a time where we have to protect our peace unlike no other time that we've been in. You know, with the, you know, when we saw the whole thing with the them dropping a bomb in Iran and oh my goodness, we're at war now again, and you know it's getting ready to go down and all this stuff, right? People getting worried and scared and all this other stuff. And listen, like I told you in the video that we did recently, I said this. I said, listen, because I saw someone actually did a video. It was like they pieced together a video of black folks that on TikTok that were saying, "Dear Iran, please don't come after the black folks on this one." What? Do you really think the Ayatollah, you think he's worried about black folks at this point? He got all this other stuff going on and I'm going to come after them. And I'm watching people. I know this stuff sounds crazy, right? And it may sound like, well, Dwayne, you talk about, listen, it's all tied in together. It's all tied in what I'm saying. You got folks out here that are getting so worked up about that and thought automatically we're going to be the target. Let me tell you something. They ain't thinking about you. Okay, they got a lot more things to worry about, megaton bombs, ton bombs, than you. Okay, they're not worrying about you. Okay, now what I will say on the flip, what I will say is this, is that the United States has on repeat, the government, president, and others have on repeat, and we mentioned this in a video recently, have put out there that, you know, there could be some sleeper cells out there. You better be careful. Iran's got some sleeper cells out there. Well, number one, that's Mossad, so it ain't Iran. That's Mossad, that's Israel, 110% all the way, okay? But number two, it is a setup for some false flag kind of activity that could go down, okay? I am not someone, I've heard some people say, oh, it's gonna be on the 20th of June. Come and go. It's all gonna happen. Hold it together. Hold it together. Hold it together again, Dwayne. Hold it together. I'm sorry. What really gets me with this is that I'm amazed at how people can get away with putting dates on stuff like this. And you would think they would be crucified. I mean, they would have these people hanging on the cross. But no, their numbers keep going up. But if I was to say something like that, oh my goodness, people had already had the videos already out. And it just amazes me. And so the next thing they're saying, the 4th of July, something's about to pop off. That's the best. They're going to strike. This is the best time they're going to do it. 4th of July, make sure you're ready. Now, I'm not going to sit up here and say nothing ain't going to happen. But I will tell you, the reality is, yes, this country, this world is ripe for fools and crazy people. That's every day. Okay? So what are the practical things I have been telling you on this platform? I have told you, I said, you got to, when it comes to large gatherings, you may want to think twice about that.
Yeah.
All right. You want to think twice about that. Okay. If it's a huge festival and it's going to be thousands of people there, I wouldn't go. I'm not going. All right. I'm not going because, it's just full.
It's too easy. Yeah.
And let me give you an example. Well, what I'm talking about, y'all think I'm crazy.
You want some caffeine?
Yeah. You think I'm crazy. Okay. Y'all think I'm okay. All right. Y'all think I'm crazy. Okay. Let me give you some examples. This past weekend.
Yeah.
In New York, they had what was it called? The Black
Chicago
Yacht.
You mean? Chicago.
Oh no, New York. People died. They did something else. It was some other stuff going on.
Oh, yeah.
But in Chicago, they had the Black
Yacht Weekend.
And they said scammers are all over the place. And they had to pull some of the boats to the side or whatever because they said it was so windy and people almost falling off the boats and all this stuff. But they said the scammers, they said, were aplenty, were all out there. Okay, that's in Chicago. Now let's get on the plane. We're gonna go. We're gonna fly to. Okay, we're gonna fly to France. France just recently had a huge black music festival. Okay, a huge music festival, and guess what happened? Fires, people getting stabbed, fights, arrests, and guess what else they say what happened? There was groups of people going around with needles, and they were poking people. They were going after young girls. They'll poke these girls, and then, one by one, they said the girls would just fall out, and they had to take them to the hospital. And they don't know what was, at least they're not releasing it publicly, what was in these needles, but it happened. You can look this up. I'm saying this, y'all, with all the love in my heart, is that not just large gatherings, but unfortunately, and I have to tell it to you, large gatherings with people that look like us. I have to tell you, as much as I love black festivals, as much as the next person, in this day and age, there's just far too much evidence of stories where, unfortunately, the fool has to come out. You remember the song, The Freaks Come Out at Night? No, the fools come out all the time. They're always out. They don't even wait for the night. They always out. And you got to be, and I'm just telling you with all the love in my heart, please be careful. Okay? Yeah. Because yes, this is an opportune time for some things to pop off. That's one. The second thing too, as I was saying, as we were just waiting for people to get on, is the heat wave. Right? Yeah, we're like Nicole's expression didn't even change on that one. We live in a heat wave. All right, we live in a heat wave, but it's cooled off. So it's winter again out here. It's 99 degrees, but out in the East Coast, they said it's going up. The temperature is going to be going up for y'all, and they also said that there's certain grids that have a potential of going down. I shared this with our hotline group. Very weird. Very, very weird. Okay, there's a company that handles like all of these grids that are like pretty much the East Coast. East Coast, right? Eastern part of the United States. And it's this one company, as I'm pulling it up right now. I'm not going to pull it up on the screen because you can look it up. It's PJM Interconnection. That's what it's called, PJM Interconnection. Now, PJM Interconnection, they handle like the distribution of power in all these different, pretty much the East Coast. And May the 25th, they said that the PJM, they already had some equipment, some generators that they were going to take down because they were retiring them. Mm-hmm. But here comes the United States, says, oh, no. We going to need those, so you got to keep those running. So PJM was like, the heck? Because a few weeks later, PJM comes out and puts this big announcement out, and they said it's almost pretty much prepared that there are going to be some outages. So it's kind of weird. It's like, why would you tell them they got the money to get generators? Why would you tell them to keep generators that you were scheduling to take offline? Why would you tell them to put it back online? So that's a little weird, just a little weird. I can go out there. I got a closet full of 10-4 hats I could put on right now, but I'm not. But my point is, just a little weird. But I think it was yesterday or today, there was an outage in New York, in the state of New York. Mm-hmm. And we're saying this because you want to be very careful, especially during heat. Yeah. So our elders that are out here, and even those that ain't elders, I mean, you want to make sure you have everything you need to stay cool, because guess where the first thing everybody's going to go to when the heat rises? They're going to go to the grocery store, and you're going to be one of them same people in the line getting mad because they ain't got no water. Don't compete for that. You can be doing that now. Don't wait for that. Do it now. True. Get your water now. You can do it now. You know what I'm saying? And if you got a deep freezer, I'm talking to myself too, we get some ice, put some ice in there. So, ice doing their thing out there, but we ain't talking about that ice. We talking about ice, cool ice, okay? Right. We gonna worry about ice, real ice here, okay? We ain't worry about that. But just the basics, make sure you have that, okay? This is all under the umbrella of health and wellness. Yeah. All right? For real. But if you're waiting for the government, if your plan of strategy is the government's going to come and bring a helicopter and drop something off for you, talk to the people who went through Katrina. All right, that's all you got to do, and you figure it out from there. But anyway, I just wanted to share those things with you. Finally, we have Nicole back in the house, and she's been around. And she's got some. Always around. And she got you got some videos coming out soon, right? I do. Okay. Yeah. So she got some videos coming out, and excited about that. So stay tuned for that. That's going to be on Samba Tree, right? Mm-hmm. Okay. So we have Samba Tree YouTube page too. So make sure you keep your eyes on that and that. And if you're a subscriber, then you'll get the notification on that. So anyway, I ran my mouth a little bit. How you doing? I'm doing well. All right. I'm doing well. I am. All right. I'm feeling good. And how's your journey coming along with the weight loss thing? You have to share that. Just a little bit. Just tell the people.
He knows I get excited about this. Is that Pink Velvet? Thank you so much. I appreciate that, sis. Hot?
You want me to turn the air conditioner? Okay.
I'm good. The journey with the weight loss. So, and I've been saying I was going to do a video about this, and I will do a video about this. So I am down 21 pounds. 21 pounds. 21 pounds. Right? So I'm down 21 pounds, and that is since mid-April. And what I've been doing is alternate day fasting, like you may have heard me say, or you may have seen over on Samba Tree YouTube channel. All right, so what's the deal with alternate day fasting? Basically, it's like nothing I have ever done. And I fasted before. I'm sure you fasted before. But there is something about alternate day fasting. Basically, what's the bottom line with it? Just as the name suggests, you are eating every other day, okay? And there's a lot of different ways to do it. You can just eat every other day, all right? Fast every other day. Or you can do a 4-3, where you're eating 4 days a week and you're fasting 3 days a week, all right? And that's what I'm doing, right? So I'll fast on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and I'll eat on Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, and then Sunday is a free day, right? I'll eat a little something on Sunday, but probably not super heavy. So that's what I've been doing. The amazing thing about alternate day fasting is when you think about fasting, you know, you think of, oh, I'm going to go on a 2-day fast, or I'm going to go on a 1-day fast, or I'm going to fast till 6 p.m. or that kind of thing. You think of it as just kind of a one-hit wonder. You know what I mean? You're going to do this fast and come back out of it. But alternate day fasting really is more of a, it doesn't have to be a long commitment, but that's how I'm treating it. So let me tell you what kind of hooked me on it. Basically, I was watching Diary of a CEO podcast, right? So it's super popular YouTube channel. I think he has 10, 15 million subscribers. Diary of a CEO. I love everything, entrepreneur, small business, big business. I love business. I was born to be an entrepreneur, right? So that's my jam. So I was watching this podcast. On the podcast, he had Dr. Mindy Pelz. She is, her platform is all about fasting. That's what she talks about, is fasting. All right. So I watched this 2-hour podcast on fasting. And the thing that really made me, basically, after I watched this podcast, I was like, I'm done. That's what I'm doing, period. That is what I'm going to do. That is what's going to change my life. That's what I'm doing. Basically, I don't know. I have to go back and look at what university did this study. Okay. But there was a study done. It was one of the largest of its kind on fasting. Okay. So it wasn't like a 10 participant or 15 participant or all men, it was a mix of men, women, different backgrounds, ages, everything. Right. So they had these people do alternate day fasting for 30 days. Okay. What they did was they had them fast for 36 hours, then eat within a 12-hour window. So your brain, I know your brain right now is trying to compute that. Okay. What does that mean? It basically is you go to sleep, you fast the next day, and you go to sleep again. That's pretty much going to be your 36 hours. Sleep, fast, sleep. Okay. And then the next day you got 12 hours and you can eat whatever you want within those 12 hours. And that's exactly what they did. They let the people eat whatever they wanted. You want chicken Alfredo? Eat it. You want a burger? Eat it. You want pizza and eat half of the pizza? Eat it. You want ice cream, cheesecake? Eat it. Okay. And even with people eating whatever the heck they wanted on their eating days, they still had incredible benefits, such as the stubborn belly fat, right? That visceral fat around the belly that pretty much you can do what you want, but it's just going to sit there and look back at you. The belly fat was melting off. It was just melting off of these people's bellies, okay? Also, what was occurring is their hormones in women, the hormones were completely being reset and balanced out. Their skin was looking better. Their metabolisms were being reset. The persistent pains, aches and pains in their body, the inflammation in their bodies was going away. So older people, now I'm not talking just young chickens. I mean, people were 63, 70, all ages. And you had testimonies where people, now I'm coming out of the study and just talking about the testimonies. You have people that said, oh my gosh, I've been alternate day fasting for 3 weeks and I have rheumatoid arthritis, or I have this condition or that condition, or I have chronic back pain. I don't feel anything. Why don't I feel anything? So let me tell you why. So once you hit about 17-ish hours into your fast, autophagy happens. And autophagy, I just took over my baby broadcast. That's what happened.
No. I asked you to
took over,
tell.
y'all.
What you talking
But
about?
what happens is autophagy occurs. What is autophagy? Autophagy is when it basically means self-eating, which is just weird, Greek, weird. But autophagy is basically when your cells go in and do a major, massive cleanup. So cells that are dysfunctional, cells that are cancerous, cells that are precancerous, cells that are, they should have been cleared out a long time ago, but they're just hanging around, full of toxins. Your healthy cells will go in and will basically recycle those old, damaged, cancerous, precancerous cells. So that inflammation or that pain that you had in your body that wouldn't go away, all of a sudden, that pain is, why does my back hurt?
Now notice, ain't there one doctor came by this house?
Right.
Now one.
Right.
Now one. You understand what I'm saying? This is what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
There are things that we can do
Yeah.
now, and you ain't got to pay for it.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead.
And so the inflammation was disappearing. Just people weren't experiencing this pain. And because the body doesn't always need something external. Hello, we're Samba Tree. We love herbs. We love powders. We love all this stuff. We love when we can garden and grow our own herbs and we love all of that. Okay? We love it. But the body doesn't always need to take something in to heal. Sometimes it just wants to say back to you, can you leave me alone for a minute? Can I get a quick intermission? Like, can you stop eating just for a minute, please? So I can stop focusing the energy on digesting the crap you just ate, and I can go in and just fix some stuff that's been sitting around for a long time. Here's the thing. And I'm almost done but I love this stuff, right? Because, it works. So last thing I'm going to say, and I'm literally done, right? So Pink Velvet said, I do intermittent fasting, a lot of benefits. Absolutely, sis. Absolutely, right? So she does intermittent fasting where you're going longer periods of time without eating. Maybe you're intermittent fasting on a 16-8. You eat within you fast for 16 hours and you eat within an 8-hour window, that kind of thing. Some people do a 24. Fast for 20 hours, eat within a 4-hour window. Some people do OMAD. What is OMAD? It's OMAD, 1 meal a day. But what I'm talking about is ADF, alternate day fasting. And this is the last thing I'm going to tell you. Basically, the reason why alternate day fasting works is because there are so many people that are insulin resistant. And basically, when you're continuing to eat, let's say you snack all day, right? And you wake up, you eat a little bit. Oh, okay, a couple hours go. Then you eat a meal. Oh, then an hour or so. Then you eat a little bit of a snack. Okay, now it's time for the next meal. Then you eat another snack. What's happening is your blood sugar is constantly spiking. It's constantly spiking. Well, I don't really eat that much. Okay, but I'm going to drink this juice. Your blood sugar is constantly spiking. And so if it takes about 8 hours for your blood sugar to come back down again, if you're constantly eating, you know what I mean? And you're constantly drinking, not just water, but you're drinking things with some level of sugar in them, that blood sugar never gets a chance to kind of come down and regulate. It's constantly being spiked. And over time, you become insulin resistant. And I'm not even going to go into that because that's way a whole nother video. So many diseases attached to insulin resistance. One quick thing, if you have a lot of skin tags, or if you have a lot of moles, or if in the back of your neck, Black people can get on the back of their necks. Well, anybody, you see dark skin on the back of your neck with like really kind of deep folds, right? And ridges. That's a telltale sign that you have insulin resistance, right? Not a 100%. Maybe you could say, oh, moles run in my family. Again, I'm just giving you some of the cues that you could be insulin resistant. All right. And so what this basically does is you're gonna have all of this glucose that's circulating, all this sugar that's circulating in your system. Glucose attracts water. So glucose molecules hold on to water. So now you're just a bloated person walking around, wondering why you can't lose weight and why you're looking so big and fluffy and bloated. Right. Insulin resistance. So, and I'm done. So what this alternate day fasting does is when you're in that fasting period on your fasting days, you are flushing out that glucose, which in turn is flushing out that additional water, that intercellular water that's kind of stuck in between the cells, making you look puffy. And your body then goes, it's not fueled on the glucose or the sugar or just the meal you just ate, the steak and the potato, whatever. It's not using that because you're not eating. So it doesn't have any of that to fuel itself off of. So it's got to go and it's got to use your stored fat for fuel, right? And you go into ketosis and you're using ketones, which are helping your brain be clear, and you're getting this clear mind and you're productive. So many good things are happening. You're sleeping better. I'm done. I'm just saying it literally is changing my life. It's changing my life. So 21 pounds down. And my goal when I started was really just to kind of feel it out and see how it works, you know? But now I love it, and it does get easier. You start fasting and, you know, it's like the first couple times it's like, what is going on, you know? But like any routine, any new thing, your body gets used to the routine, and then it doesn't fight you on fast days. It's like, hey, what's up? It's time to fast. What you doing? Let's go. Like, it's ready to fast. And if you eat on a fast day, it feels a little weird because your body's like, you breaking up the routine. Come on now, it's a fast day. And it literally becomes so much easier. There's things and tricks and tips, and I'm going to put that over on Samba YouTube channel. Once I start finally doing videos on this alternate day fasting, I'll tell you what I do, you know, shortcuts and all kinds of stuff. But it's been fantastic. But what were you going to say?
No, I was pointing to you. You got a couple of people that already asking.
Teacher. Oh, hey sis. It's been such a long time since I've seen her. Hello, family. You are always on time. I recently passed out last week due to low levels of iron. I've heard of the benefits of this, but didn't know everything you are sharing. Does this cause headaches for going so long without eating? Wow, this is awesome. Congratulations. So she said, I think you answered my question. Your body, I guess, will adjust. Well, let me just say this, K teacher. If you passed out due to low levels of iron, you don't need to do this right now. Okay? You need to get your iron regulated. One thing that's excellent for increasing and improving your iron levels is sarsaparilla. Some people say sarsaparilla, all right? But it's sarsaparilla, sarsaparilla. Okay, so we should just say sarsaparilla. Some people say sarsaparilla, whatever. But it is excellent. It is a plant. You can order it. I'm gonna put it in the Samba Tree store eventually. It will get there probably within the next week or so. Because I bought it for my daughter because she was dealing with low iron. I also, as a young woman, dealt with anemia, really pretty extreme anemia, very low iron levels. So that is a tea that you can drink and it will improve your iron levels. All right. If you're going to use an iron supplement, you don't just grab something from Walmart. You don't want that. You're going to get iron that your body can't even absorb. Okay. So you want to use a higher quality iron supplement if you're going to go that route, which you absolutely can. But I wouldn't do alternate day fasting until you get your mineral deficiency leveled out. Yeah. Because that's just going to make you more deficient and you don't want to do that. Jared, what's up, bro? Said, are you doing fasting salts with your water during your fasting period? Okay. So what he is talking about, I believe, are electrolytes, or you can do salt that has a heavy mineral content. Some people use Celtic salt. However, one company, a Celtic salt company, currently has a lawsuit going on because of the amount of lead in their salt. What I use is red alai salt from Samba tree, because why not? Right? So I use red alai salt, which is our red salt on Samba tree, because it has 84 minerals in it. So on my fasting days, I will take a pinch of red alai salt, put it on my tongue, and then drink my water or whatever. And that's something that you should do really anyway, because if you want to get hydration into the cells, it requires sodium and minerals to get hydration actually into the cells. Spell it again. I'll put it in the chat. Red alai salt. So you can take, on your fasting days, you can take electrolytes that are unflavored, right? So you're not using flavored electrolytes with that, with fake, synthetic flavors in there. And most electrolytes will give you potassium, magnesium, and sodium. Okay. All right. And it's important on your fasting days. Excuse me. One thing I will say is this, just on an everyday living basis, right? When you drink water, tons of people walk around with these big gallon jugs of water, or big, tumblers full of water. My daughter was one, and she had this big cup, and she was like, I'm drinking my water. And she started noticing her lips were cracking, which is a sign of dehydration. So how are you dehydrated when you're downing this much water? You are dehydrated because when you drink tons of water, you deplete your body of electrolytes. And so the proper way to drink your water is to take your water with a little bit of mineral salt, right? Red alai salt, it's great. If you have pink Himalayan salt in your house, that's what you got, use that. If you have Celtic salt, you can use that as well. But you take a little bit of salt, you can put it in your water, right? But just do a little bit of water like that. Put a pinch of salt or two in your water. That way you can down it and be done. You don't really want to be tasting that in a large, tub of water. But anyway, water plus minerals, sodium, magnesium, potassium, equals hydration. Water without those minerals, and you're just flushing your electrolytes out of your body. And the last thing I'll say on that is this. Why? Because naturally, our body is supposed to take in water from natural water sources. Rivers, rainwater, water coming down off of the mountains, okay?
Watermelons,
hello, fruits, coconuts, right? So, but water that is naturally occurring, right? Rivers and coming down off of mountains, it's picking up all of those good minerals as it goes over the natural landscape, right? Rivers have, you got natural, minerals. But because the water is now filtered and blah, 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 you're not getting the minerals that you need. So that's why little pop of salt on the tongue, it'll do you right. It'll do you right. So.
Awesome. He also asked, what is the name of the supplement?
Okay, now Jared, the iron supplement. Now, the one my daughter bought is one from Ancient Nutrition. It's called Ancient Nutrition, and that's the company that Dr. Josh Axe, Dr. Axe, founded that company. I like him. He's decent. Ancient Nutrition. I will tell you this: the names of of some of the nutraceutical companies that I like that are high quality, they might be a little pricier, are, y'all can jot this down, Integrative is one, Pure Encapsulations is another. Oh, there's a ton of them. Zymogen is another. Dr. Berg has some great supplements. So when you're looking for a supplement, you're looking for a supplement that as much as possible pulls on natural sources for the nutrients that are in that bottle versus synthetic versions of that mineral or vitamin. Does that make sense? So those are my top if you're looking for an iron supplement. So, but while you talk, Dwayne, I'll put them in the chat.
All right, right on.
I won't put links. I'll just put the names.
All right, so we're gonna move on to the next thing here, and then we'll get to Samba Tree. You got the website up there already, sambatree.com. We'll move up there shortly. This RFK Jr., he recently was before the, I believe it was Senate. He was at a recent hearing. And it's, I was telling Nicole this some time ago, not just him, but just the whole, Republican MAGA thing or whatever. And then you got some people who are very disappointed, at, well, I didn't vote for this, I didn't vote for that or whatever. And I'm like, this is politics, right? And the people that you vote for, of course, they're never going to do most of what they said, what they promised on the campaign trail. For me personally, that's why I chose not to vote. Well, I did vote. I just did a write-in, but I didn't vote for Trump. I didn't vote for Kamala. I didn't vote for her. I didn't go that route either, because I knew exactly what we were getting. And so, now, all the videos I did about the scare tactics of Project 2025, they're going to kill us. They're going to come out. They're going to strip us down. They're going to chase us down. All of that stuff, that they're bringing back slavery and all this other stuff. And as you can see, Black people are still here. We're still alive. We're still living our lives and all of that. But at the end of the day, politics is politics. And what they tell you on one thing is going to be something else once they get in office. We see this with the whole Jeff Epstein situation, where they're saying they're going to go in, and as soon as they get in there, they're going to basically make all this stuff public and all this stuff. And we're still waiting on that. And so here we got RFK Jr., who came in and say, we're going to just turn it out. We're going to we're going to, up in the whole, industry and all that. Now, he's done some things, some moves that, are pretty, are notable. The whole board that recommends the vaccines or whatever, he fired them, and he's brought on some new people. Some of those people got some ties to the, to DARPA and all that. But, for show, there was some changes that were made. He's also making some changes when it comes to food. Some of the ingredients that they're putting in, the different dyes and stuff, has raised the standard where you can't put some of these dyes and ingredients in there. So, you're getting a mixed bag. Now he's going really hard after the COVID vaccine and the people behind it and all of that. Okay, cool. But then on the flip side, he is bringing in a whole treasure trove of mRNA vaccines, other vaccines. So it's like, okay, he went after the COVID one, right, but he's bringing the technology is going to be all over the place in other things. Yeah. And so, it's a mixed bag at the end of the day. And, for people to be, surprised, I mean, you just sleep. You know what I mean? And you still just lying to yourself at the end of the day. But anyway, trying to find this thing here. RFK Jr., he is right here. Where is that? Here we go. He recently made this statement here. I'm going to bring this up on the screen here. And he recently made this statement, which was, a lot of people were like, oh, my goodness, what happened to him? Is he possessed or whatever? No, he's a politician. So let's take a listen right quick on what he just said recently. Here you go. I got a sneeze. Oh. Woo. I felt a sneeze coming on. Anyway, let's take a listen here to what he said recently. Uh-oh. Here it is.
Diet, about their physical activity, about the way that they live their lives. We think that wearables are a key to the MAHA agenda, making America healthy again, and we are going to, my vision is that every American is wearing a wearable within 4 years.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary. Following up
So yeah, so you just heard,
By yourself.
he wants his vision is that every American is wearing a wearable electronic device. And when he say wearable electronic device, what he's talking about are like the Apple Watches, the Fitbits and stuff like that. I used to have a Fitbit too, and I was like, oh, this is neat, man, because when we were living in Georgia.
You did?
It was like the
knockoff version?
No, it was Fitbit, but it was like the basic one.
Oh.
Like it didn't even have a screen on it. The ones they got now, it looks almost like an Apple Watch. Yeah, I was getting my steps in, man. I was like, I'm gonna get my whatever it was amount of steps I had to get in a day. We was at a friend's house, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna go up and down the steps a few times and make sure I get all my steps in. And it's AI technology type stuff. Especially now. And I was not getting off here. AI technology, I was watching this video, they were talking about how AI technology is going to be very useful and helpful for food production, as far as how farmers, the amount of chemicals and stuff they use on food, and when to water, and what bugs to look for, and insects and all that kind of stuff. So again, it's like anything else, it's a mixed bag, but you got to be careful, because the other side of it, it's now you're dealing with tracking, because again, these devices, let's take it from the top. These devices, like your cell phone or any kind of, this can somewhat be considered a wearable. It because it is tracking you when you walk to the store, when you go around the corner. As long as you have your phone with you, your phone is capturing that data. It's capturing all of that data. All right, and so that's what he's when he's saying wearable, the phone can be included in that, but when he's saying wearable, I would say that he's talking more about the watches. Now, if you have a Apple Watch or one of those Android watches, listen, you do what you want to do. All right. If that's what you want and you like it, it's cool and all of that, you do you. All right. But we stopped by to tell you, we're going to tell you some things. OK, number one, Nicole, I think you were telling me, I'm not sure, someone's telling me,
I got it right
they said they said it was people, they found that there were people who were wearing these watches. They'll find that over a long period of time, they develop like a black mark under their on their skin. And we're gonna get to that.
Go ahead.
I'll bring that up. Okay, so that's one.
Skin cancer, actually.
So number two, it's the amount. So it's a lot of radiation and stuff that's coming off of these devices. So that's the bodily harm, right? That's the bodily harm that can come with that. Okay, so that's one. Number two, the data, or number three, the data.
Yeah.
Everywhere you go, you're like, oh man, look, it's tracking me. It's showing, it's tracking my heart rate. It's tracking, all kinds of stuff, all kind of things about your body. Oh, it's telling me about my sleep patterns. It's telling me, when I should sleep, when I should wake up, and all of that. And wow, this is awesome, And so people are in love with these things because it is giving a lot of useful data. But the data that you're getting is collecting a lot more on you, and it's selling it to all these different people out here. And so, so I would just definitely say, you don't want, if you have these types of devices, I would just simply advise you to really rethink it. Okay. And even if you got young children out here that has these devices, you want to definitely rethink, that, and exposing them, especially at such a young age. I'm going to scroll this over here. There's a video that Nicole sent to me, and let me get this up on the screen, and that volume's up. Okay, good. And let me get this up here so y'all can take a look at what we're talking about here. Okay.
Gotta make it larger.
Let's see if I can make that like that. And I'm going to have to refresh it and then turn the volume up. All right, here we go. Your Apple Watch is affecting you. Sorry, y'all.
Muscle test you. Okay, don't let me push you down. Ready? Hold, hold. Oh my gosh, that is super weak. Do you agree?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, right there. Do you agree that's stuck?
Yes.
So we're gonna do it a couple times because a lot of people think, well, the more you do it, he should get better. This side. And again, do you feel you're stuck?
Yes.
Okay, do you feel you could go anymore?
Nope.
Okay, if we go to the left. Again, so we are now at both. See, I don't want to push any harder. Now go ahead and take the watch off. All we're doing is taking this watch off.
That's crazy.
Now, I think those shoulders are still level,
Yeah.
okay, for all the haters out there. Okay, we're going to go back to the left. I mean,
That's crazy.
do you agree?
Yeah.
Okay, you ready? Hold, hold, hold. Oh, do you agree? We did no treatment to you. All we did was remove the watch. We're going to put the watch back on for all the haters out there. Let's put that. Now, you don't even have to put it on. Just hold it in your hand. So let's do it here. Ready? Hold. I mean,
That's crazy.
do you agree?
Yeah, that's actually
Am I
crazy.
fooling you in any way?
No.
No. Here we go back. Look, you're stuck. Here, take it out real quick. Let me get the watch. Take it away. Go back immediately.
Wow.
Do you agree? So oftentimes in these other videos that we show people, we're editing the video, guys. We're doing a lot of this stuff, but oftentimes we do place the watch back in their hand and show them the same effects that were happening versus when we take it away. Okay, so he's also wearing an Apple Watch. So we're going to demonstrate some things. Now what we're going to do is we're going to muscle test you. Okay, don't let me push you down. Ready? Hold, hold. Oh my gosh, that is super weak. Do you agree?
There you go. That's what
Yes, right there. Do you agree that's stuck?
So, yeah. So I came across that video a couple months ago. So you saw that the arm was so weak. There was no resistance. The chiropractor could just push the arm right on down while he was wearing the watch. Take the watch off and his muscle function was back again in terms of the full strength of it. Because radiation it's just, that type of radiation is poisonous to the body. It's toxic to the body. And so it's disrupting the way the body's natural electrical system is working, right? You're introducing a different type of current or a different type of, you're more the electrical engineer type person, but again, I just wanted to show you that so you could see that there is an effect. And what he was talking about, the lawsuit that people have right now, it's a new lawsuit, I think, against Apple because of their watches. Underneath where the watches were being worn, people were starting to see dark marks on their skin. So they went and had them checked, and they were indeed skin cancer underneath the Apple watches. Why? Because you've got radiation sitting right on the same place 24 hours a day, and what's not supposed to be there. Likewise, real quick, there has been an increase in tumors in the glutes. Why? Because people wear their phones in their back pockets. You got on jeans, you put your phone in your back pocket. I know a lot of ladies do that. And then men put their phone in their front pocket. And you see the result. And this was years ago, even long before, these turbo cancers and everything. You saw an increase in prostate cancer among men because you've got your phone right there. I told my son, bro, please find another place to put your phone because I want some grandchildren, okay? Move it away from your baby maker, please. So, again, this is, we're talking about radiation, so you want to keep it away from your body as much as possible. So, yeah.
And I was looking for this, and I'll just read it for you. It says Apple has been accused of exposing users to cancer in a new lawsuit that claims the tech giant's watch bands contain high levels of toxic forever chemicals.
So they were forever chemicals.
And I don't know, perfluor, whatever. And the other thing, don't break down in the body or environment, hence the nickname forever chemicals. and have been linked to birth defects, increased risk of prostate, kidney, and testicular cancer and fertility problems. The 3 Apple products to allegedly contain these forever chemicals are Ocean, Nike Sport, and regular Sport Apple Watch bands. And so that's on top of that. Go ahead.
Plus the radiation.
Plus the radiation, right? That's on top of that.
Yeah.
So if you are someone out there that has these watches, you might want to reconsider. It's up to you. You know, you grown and you paid money for it and all of that. But we're here to basically kind of just bring it to your attention. Yeah. And and what you do with that information is pretty much up to you. Let's move on to the next story here. This is regarding SIDS, okay? And of course, if you don't know what SIDS is, that's sudden infant death syndrome. And basically that's when, I remember, I want to say in the 80s, I think it was. This was like a big thing.
It was a big thing.
It was a big thing. I remember seeing commercials for this, and they were saying, call this 1-800 number and all this other stuff. If you believe that your child, died because of SIDS and all this other stuff, right? That was a huge thing.
Yeah.
But it was postured as something that was like a mystery. Like nobody knew what it was. It can come on your children at any given moment.
Right.
Well, since then, they have actually done studies on this, and they're finding that, unfortunately, this is a high probability that this is pretty much tied to vaccines. And it was a recent study that was done by Dr. Mercola.
McCullough.
McCullough.
Yeah, McCullough.
And it was another doctor as well. And this is on top of a study that was done back in 2015. But this one was done more recently. And they're finding that, I'll just read it here. It says a jaw-dropping study from the McCullough Foundation published in Toxicology Reports on 2025 of May suggests childhood vaccines may trigger sudden infant death syndrome, causing brainstem failure. And then they go here and they dove into decades of data, revealing that 75.5% of SID cases reported to VAERS from 1990 to 2019 occurred within 7 days of vaccination, with a staggering 57 times spike in reports on day 2. It goes on, but bottom line here is this again, and you could dig in. For me personally, I like kind of digging in and finding out a little bit much as I can.
Yeah. And
but I would highly encourage you. I remember getting emails from different ones that said, "Hey, listen, like grandparents or whatever, saying, hey, y'all, listen, y'all pray for me or whatever. I'm really trying to tell my children, please don't shoot them babies up so early, and if you're a grandparent or whatever, just do what you can, just like we're presenting this information to you, you do the same thing with them and let them know the seriousness of that. Okay. Yeah. Let them know the seriousness of this stuff. Our bodies come equipped with pretty much everything we need. And a lot of these things that they're injecting, they are not, if it's not naturals, keep it away from my babies, keep it away from me, period. And this is the posture that we have to take, because these people do not care. I mean, out of all people on the planet right now, it's black folks that should know better. We should know based on the experience that we have of this industry and just how much they don't care about us. You understand what I'm saying? So we should naturally have extra precaution. You remember the event that happened some years ago? They kept bringing up Tuskegee. I knew they were going to do this. Them devils. They were saying, see, we got to come up with a talking point, because we know that a lot of these black folks, they remember Tuskegee and all of that. And then they were coming out with reports. They were coming out with different talking points. Preachers were I'm not making any of this up. Y'all were there. You remember the preachers were coming out. They were putting their sermons about Tuskegee and Jesus. He's above that. And if Jesus was around today, he would get a vaccine. You remember all of that? Right? And they were coming up with talking points with that. And to combat that, for me, what I was doing, I said, okay, I'm going to raise you some of these other experiments that went on. It ain't just Tuskegee. We can go all the way back, and I can go all the way forward. You remember I told you guys about, I did a whole video on the experimentation they were doing on black children in, was it Brooklyn? It was in New York City, where they would literally, and I'm not making this up, you can go back to that video. They were taking children that were in the foster care system. These are black children. And the children, they, there's a natural like, okay, stop giving me this stuff. I don't want it. Mm-hmm. So they would say, okay, fine, lay down. We're going to cut your stomach open and we're going to force feed it through your stomach. This was like in the 80s. This was like, I think it was like in the 80s and the 90s they were doing this stuff. So they still doing this stuff. So when I put this stuff out here, you got to take this stuff serious. I'm not saying you are listening, you don't, but I'm saying in general, you have to have this in mind anytime you going up to these people in white coats. I don't care if their face is black as mine. Yeah, right. And they graduated, they know your grandbaby and they know your children and they went to your school or whatever. They are working for the same people that do that stuff to this day. That's the mindset that you have to have. I am not telling you that you got to stop going to doctors altogether. I'm not saying that. But what I am saying is when you go, if you are one that does have a doctor that you go to or whatever, you have to go in there with an attitude. And what I mean by that is you got to go in there and have your little notebook and say, okay, doctor, now before you give me this, I've done my homework. I've done some research here. Now I'm going to go through this stuff and you're going to answer some questions. Now, if that doctor starts getting some attitude, that tells you everything you need to go and be like, deuces, I'm out of here. Because first of all, I'm paying your bill. When they say, well, no, you're not. Your insurance. Well, my insurance is. Bottom line, if my butt is here, you get money from me. So you're going to either answer my questions or I'm bouncing. That's it. This is what I'm trying to tell you. So please, when you go for our children, our babies especially, take this in mind. Yeah. Again, that study. I'll provide a link to it somewhere. But the study they did back in May. This is just in May, last month. And they said it's a high rate of children that they said on day 2, I think they said it shoots up to 57. It goes up 57 times the possibility of them leaving this earth early because of these things that they're putting in them. And they're saying they're doing it for their good. And you find out, okay, what's the ingredients? Well, we put pieces of monkey in there, some bits of metal in there. We put all this. Man, you better get out of here with that. You do it. Tell them to put it in their mouth first, and then maybe I'll take a year and think about it. But you put it in your mouth first, and I'll come back next year and see how you doing. And you come back next year, they got one eye down here, the other eye up here, and they walking like they in the Thriller video. And so no, they get out of here with that. Get all the way out of here with that.
Michael Stewart asked, any suggestion on how to store the phone? I didn't realize until recently, but they found a tumor on the side where I kept my phone. Michael, can you put it in the chat and let me know, have you had a biopsy on that yet? All right, if you're listening, if you could just throw that in the chat really quickly for me. While you're doing that, here's the thing. So what you want to know is that there are many phone cases. Well, first of all, you have a, what is it called? A cage, you know what I'm talking about? What is it called, you guys?
EMF cage?
Not an EMF cage. Come on, you guys. It's called a cage, and it doesn't let any EMF out or in, any signal in or out. What is that called? Somebody, can you look it up, Dwayne, real quick?
Do we have them?
Yeah, I have a couple of them.
I mean, on the store.
No. Oh. Well, anyway. He's going to look it up. If somebody knows what I'm talking about, please put it in there. But basically, there are cases that you can put your phone in that will not allow any EMF. Faraday, thank you, Faraday Truth. Thank you. I knew somebody would know what I'm talking about. A Faraday cage. Thank you. They call it a Faraday cage. But again, don't think of a hard cage. It's basically, it'll look like it'll almost look like a sleeve that you drop your phone into. Okay. And what that does is there's no signal, there's no radiation that will escape that Faraday cage or that Faraday pouch if you have it closed properly. Now, what that also means is that you're going to have to take it out periodically and get a signal and check to see if you have any messages, that kind of thing. So you're not going to be getting your messages, notifications, whatever. If that's necessary for your job, then, or your work, then here's the next option. All right. So if you don't do a 100% Faraday cage for your phone, then the next option is there are phone cases where one side of the case is not a Faraday cover. So it allows the signal to come in. And then on the back side of the case, it is a Faraday, uses Faraday material, which is usually nickel or copper. But in this case, most likely it's like nickel. And that part that is not allowing the radiation, that Faraday part of the case, that side is the side that you would put in your pocket. That would sit against your body. It's not 100%, right? The only thing that's 100% is a Faraday case or cage. Okay. So that's the first thing I would say. All right. And if a tumor has been created at the place where I was carrying my phone would be in a Faraday cage, period. Okay. Now here's the next thing. Okay, good. Okay, good, Michael. Very good. So Michael said no biopsy, but they did an ultrasound and said it was not cancerous. Very, 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 very good. That makes me so happy. My heart is smiling right now. Okay. All right. So a couple things on that. So happy to hear that, Michael, is this. One, just know that a tumor is, think of it as a capsule. You know how a capsule, it just encapsulates whatever the powder is on the inside. All right, I'm just going to take this down real quick because can you remove that? Oh, we can just we can exit out. All right, so think of it like this. A tumor is simply a casing for toxins. All right. And I'm so glad that they did an ultrasound, they didn't do a biopsy. When you take that casing, right, and the reason why the tumor is created is because your body is getting all of these toxins and it doesn't know what to do with, it knows what to do with them, right? But the liver is already busy flushing and managing the toxins that you're getting in the air from your food again, right? So the liver is busy flushing toxins. So the body has to find a way to encapsulate this new foreign toxin that is coming, that's, assaulting the body. All right. So it encapsulates it in a tumor. What I've said this before, you guys have heard me say this before. When a biopsy is done, it's like the body has preserved this perfect little case full of toxins until the liver can be freed up enough to start breaking down that tumor and having it pass out through your urine and pass out through your feces and getting rid of it, your healthy cells can go and eat it on up, right? When you do a biopsy, you pierce that perfectly, isolated pouch of toxin, and the toxin begins to spread. I don't remember what the percentage is, so I do not want to misquote it. I don't know if it was 70, 90, 80%. I don't remember. It was very high though. But when people have biopsies done on their tumors, not many days or weeks after that, there is a very high percentage of people that go from just having a tumor to now they get the report that the cancer has metastasized.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's metastasized because you've broken open or you've pierced that perfectly closed tumor that was housing those toxins. And when you pierce it with a biopsy, now those toxins release, and the report that you get next is, oh, your cancer is now metastasized to the liver, to the this, to the blood. Okay? So yours is not cancerous, which is yay, very good. So what I would do, Michael, if I were you, long-winded answer, but this is important, right? I'm sure it's important to you. What I would do, one, I'd get a Faraday cage, period. That's number one. Number two, if I have to have a signal constantly because of my work and I've got to get those notifications constantly so I can do my work, then, and you're on the move, it's not like you're at a desk, right? If you're at a desk, then put that phone somewhere far away from you, okay? And just hear the notifications. If you got to carry it on you, then get one of those cases that's a partial Faraday, right? For the times when you briefly have to carry it on your person, okay? And very last thing, what I talked about at the top of this broadcast, you can go back and listen again. I talked about fasting and how when you fast, I will not go through all of it again, but when you fast and you get past that 17 to 24 hour mark, once you hit 17, 18 hours, autophagy happens and your healthy cells start basically eating up that tumor, eating up those dead, dysfunctional, precancerous cells and toxins. They get recycled. So I would look, you don't have to rush into it. Do some research and look at maybe introducing some fasting in your body and see what happens with that tumor. All right. Alongside, there's a lot of herbs that can help you as well. Dwayne, if you want to mention something, I want to show you guys something really quickly. It's called the tumor eater. I want to show you something. I guarantee you probably never heard of it. 1 second.
All right. So while she's getting that, this is in the other room.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So while she's getting that, I want to play for you this video here. Going back to the COVID stuff, there's still a lot of fallout going on with that, as I've been mentioning to you. And this is why, again, it was just, I just don't even have the words of how angry I am at all the people who stood up and was telling people, giving them all these different reasons why you just don't question and just follow, shut up and just follow along with the narrative and all that, and don't ever question anything and all of that stuff. And now people are starting to question that. I'm just going to play this video clip here and then we're going to come back to that. And so, but yes, so there's a lot of people who actually are no longer with us because they did not hold these people's feet to the fire. And I feel myself getting angry right now because what I see in my mind right now, a bunch of these preachers that got up here and they were bringing these quote unquote doctors that was saying that, okay, this is why you got to take it and all this other stuff. Right. But now then afterwards, after the fact, we got the fallout. And I don't see now one of them bringing them same people up to go through and say, okay, this is what you're experiencing now. They gone. You know why? Because it was a bunch of money. These people, it was a windfall of money for these preachers, for a lot of these doctors and stuff that were getting up here. It was a windfall of money to get you to sign up for something. But now it's gone now. Now, all of a sudden, they don't want to follow up and tell you, okay, this is what you're experiencing. Meanwhile, I know for us and I know other platforms, we've been counting all these folks suddenly gone. This person suddenly gone. And out here now, the same people that was pushing this stuff, they ain't saying nothing about this. Absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
And so anyway, real quick. So there's a current lawsuit that's going on right now. I think it's down in Texas. And these hospitals, they had a protocol that they had to follow. And we talked about that. So like when you come in and you say you got the C word, COVID, you come in and basically there's a whole protocol we have to follow. Well, that protocol has some unfortunate consequences. And so on that note, let me play this video clip here real quick, and then we're going to get right back to what Nicole was saying about this thing, this eater thing. Let me get to this here real quick. And let's take a listen. This woman, this is a doctor. She was on the Joe Rogan show recently. Let's take a listen to what she was saying on this, okay?
There's actually a lawsuit today that's first jury trial in the country over these hospital protocols, where they had a young woman with Down syndrome. They basically euthanized her. They gave her a DNR order, even though she didn't have one. And the father has just been wonderful. It's a Shara family.
Why did they do that? They euthanized her for what?
I've seen this. I have reviewed records from these hospital patients. And they'll euthanize them. They need the bed. They said, well, they're going to die anyway.
What was this person in the hospital for?
COVID protocol. So
and they wait. So they were in the hospital with COVID, and they gave them something to kill them?
Yeah, that happened. I'm sorry, but that happened. People, they give them morphine and insulin. And yeah.
That's common?
Yeah. I've reviewed charts. In this situation, they gave her a DNR, which is do not resuscitate. Meaning if they look like they're dying, you don't do anything, which that was not the case. So they're suing for battery, which is one way of getting around the PrEP Act, because the PrEP Act is very hard to penetrate. The PrEP Act protects everybody, all the doctors, all the hospitals from any wrongdoing during COVID. So it's been this big challenge trying to get around the PrEP Act. And this case has hope of getting around the PrEP Act because they're charging for battery, and they're in trial. It started today. It's in Wisconsin. So that gives me hope.
Jeez.
Yeah. So this is going on right now, and someone actually has a link to the video. Video's like 8 hours long. I mean, if you want to sit down and watch the whole thing, but they're going through it now. I do plan on like scrubbing through it because if they win this lawsuit, it can have a rippling effect all across the nation, because there are many people who are no longer with us because of these kind of things. In the meantime, you remember all them doctors that was up there doing all them dance videos? It was the most surreal time I've ever lived in. It was surreal.
The nurses.
They were nurses and doctors. They dancing on top of the rooftops and stuff like that. And at the same time, they were telling you, the hospitals are crowded and nobody can get in and all that. And then you see them doing these dance videos. So anyway, I just wanted to share that with you, that, there are people out here who are, they're pushing these things. They're staying on this.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I have to say this to our black folks that are out here. There are some that are too, they're doing something, but there's not the same voices, the same groundswell of support that, child, you better go out there and get it because that's what they're telling us to get it. Those same voices now, they're not saying anything about the follow through. This is why it's important. You got to read. You got to be literate, even when it comes to medical stuff. We give you basic information here, but you still got to do your own investigation on this stuff. And if you're noticing some things, if you or a family member took that thing, unfortunately, and you noticed some slight changes or whatever, you better pay attention to that. That's the extent I'm going to say, because anything else I want to say at this point, beyond this, we're going to do that over on another platform. But I just wanted to mention that because this is real, and there's real fallout, and it must be taken extremely serious.
I could say a lot about that protocol as well, because what she's talking about was probably, it was less common than what I want to say. I don't even know if I can say it on this video, but the protocol that they had when you went into the hospital, saying that you think, or even if you didn't go into the hospital, saying that you think you had C, and they tested you for it and said it was a positive, everything from the remdesivir to the what do they call them? The ventilators. Anyway, we really could talk about that.
And we can also talk about the video we were just listening to the other day. The lady was talking about the PCR test and the data that they collected from the PCR test. Yes, it did. You remember we were talking about, they just throw it out. That's it. Oh, no. We've been saying that. We said, nope, that's data. They're collecting it.
They collected, they were collecting, and you authorized it because it was in some of the material. Again, I have to go back and listen to the video. But when you took a PCR test, your biological data even down to your genome was sent to a few different agencies.
Yes.
I know China was involved in
China
somehow.
China was one,
But
and there was
it
a
was
few other companies too.
Yeah, because there were any accredited lab that was processing a PCR test was mandated to send that data to a certain agency. Again, I'm sure he'll do another video and he'll show it, but so that, and this was also in the literature, so that future vaccines can be created based on the individual's genome, based on the individual's DNA. So this is why we were really going hard about, y'all, just don't, that'll be another, we listen to that one another. We were like, y'all, please, you know what I mean? This is what the PCR test does. This is it. Anyway, we went through all of that, and now it's kind of all coming out, what these people we're doing with that information. Let me show you really quickly. And I know we're going to do a live call-in. Okay, look. Anytime he and I sit down and we say, oh, it's just going to be about an hour. Bruh, it's never an hour. Okay? We try our hardest, but it's never an hour. So the live call-in, Dwayne will be here. But I'm supposed to be somewhere at 8 o'clock and it's 7:26. So I actually gotta go.
Oh, okay.
But let me for Michael's benefit and anyone else's benefit, I am working on getting this into the store. It's a little pricey, so we'll see. But this is West African percasse or Aden fruit. Okay. Percasse. All right, you see that? Percasse or Aden fruit. There we go. You can see it. All right. Aden fruit. Let me show you. All right. It's used a lot in West African cuisine, and it is known as a tumor shrinker. That when people consume this, it shrinks tumors. And so this is what Aden fruit looks like. Right? Have you ever seen that? Okay. West African percasse or Aden fruit. All right. And what you do, and it's hard. I mean, I can knock him in the head, okay, with this. Like, it is hard. And what you do is you break it up, cut it up, put it in water, make it into a tea. And that is what it is known for. Now, when we put it on our website, we will not call it the tumor eater because we can't do that. Okay. We can't do that because they'll try to take our site down again. Anyway, but just know if you are looking for something, I'll put it in the chat so you know what the fruit is called. Yeah. And it's, again, a lot of this stuff that comes from the continent and the Caribbean is tremendous. It's tremendous. You don't see it in the States, but it's tremendously powerful. So I'm going to put this in the chat. All right. If anybody's interested. Okay.
All right. And can you get that? I saw you had the Hawthorne out there.
Oh, yeah.
You get that
right,
while you're doing that. Go ahead.
You going to put it in there?
Once you go ahead and put that in there, and then I'm going to switch up there. All right. So, yeah. So real quick, we're going to jump over to this website real quick, and we're going to just point out just a few things for you. We're very excited about this brand new line that we put out here. This is our Samba brain packs, and it's addressing all the specific needs of our brain. Our brain is a very complex, I don't even want to call it machine. It's basic. It's a system. It's a whole system. And what we did basically, again, is we not only looked at the needs of our brains, these different areas, prefrontal cortex, the amygdala, so forth and so on, brainstem and all of that, but we looked at it from a perspective of people who have a lot of melanin in our skin, because our bodies, you know, when you look at our skin color, black people got black skin, brown skin, light brown, white, or whatever, that all tells us that these bodies have specific needs. So we want to formulate something, we'll put some herbs together that would address these things based on those particular needs. And so anyway, just real quick, again, I'm not going to go through the whole thing, but I'm just showing you, this is our latest banner on here, Start a New Legacy of a Healed Mind.
I like
you know,
that.
so that's what you want to start. You want to have a legacy of a healed mind.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
and that's what we're promoting here because of all the reasons that I talked about earlier in the broadcast here.
Yeah.
And so you have Easy Adapt Organic Smoothie Mix. Click on each one of these and it will tell you all what the ingredients are.
Yeah.
Calm Mind and Reset Capsule Kit, Focus and Flow Tea Sampler, Decision Clear Trio, and then we have the Season Smart Set. And please take the time, go through it. Trust me, these things are things you're going to need to have added to your life because we got to get our brains together here. And on top of that, which reminds me, what's the day? Because my days sometimes feel like they're running together. We have a free course that we're teaching 1 day a week. And it's about a half an hour to 40 minutes. And we're basically teaching you all the parts of the brain and its functionalities and all the things that you can do to optimize it. So that's a free one. I already got the first one already up. It's over on the Samba Tree YouTube webpage. So make sure you're subscribed over there. It's free. We're not asking for anything at all. You can just go there and learn. Okay. So make sure you check that out when you get a chance. Okay. So you're going to show us that now. Go ahead.
Really quickly. I'm going to be adding magnesium, glycinate, and K2D3 also to these brain packs, okay, as a separate product because magnesium and K2D3, if you're not getting that into your body, it's just the foundation. It's the foundation for a lot of processes in your bodies and enzymatic processes, but definitely for brain health for sure. I'm going to show you guys this and then I'm going to get out of here. All right. So I made a smoothie just the other night with hawthorn berry and I had him taste it. Was that not good?
It was good.
It was good,
really good.
Jack. It was good. Okay. And a lot of you bought this and some of you have already gotten your orders. Others of you, it's still in transit. So just to show you, I don't know if it'll pick up the color. It's not going to pick up the color, babe.
Hey, let me I'll take a picture.
Okay.
Okay.
Anyway, it's the most beautifully vibrant pink, and if whatever smoothie you take, if you add a little hawthorn to it, the berry flavor is popping, and it has a little touch of sweetness without sugar. It is really, really good. You see that pink? It is really, really great. So the hawthorn, the benefits of hawthorn, we put it in there as a heart. We didn't really have a great heart supplement, or powder in the store. So I put it in there primarily for heart. However, the hawthorn berry powder it's a beast for antioxidant properties, for your cholesterol management. And I'm not a hater on cholesterol. You need cholesterol. I don't believe these modern day numbers of down in the hundreds of cholesterol. No, I don't believe it at all. Your brain needs cholesterol. It needs cholesterol. And I'm sure you guys have probably seen the video talking about how back in the day, 300 was the number that doctors wanted you to be at for your cholesterol. And now it's down at 190 or something like that. The myelin sheath of the brain requires cholesterol. So anyway, but this is great for cholesterol management. The anti-inflammatory properties are insane. It's a great digestive aid. One thing that's very cool about it, it has a mild sedative effect. So it reduces your anxiety. If you're somebody who kind of runs high on anxiety, hawthorn berries calm the nervous system. How about that? Which helps you to make better decisions, right? And then it's also really great for, it reduces inflammation as well. And you can use it topically for eczema and for psoriasis. You can put it in a coconut oil or any kind of carrier oil, and you can use it topically. So Love it. This is an all-star and it tastes good. Some powders do not taste good, honey. They do not.
Yeah, they taste very powdery, but this
Or
one
bitter.
does not.
Yeah.
This one certainly does not. Like I'm
really
doing,
good.
I'm trying out like this green powder that we have, and it's good, but it can, they want me to put the whole thing in there, and I'm like, I tried that, and I was like, man, this thing.
It's not Samba Tree. That's another.
Yeah,
brand
it's
he's
another
talking
one.
about.
So make sure you check that out. The flavor, your children would like it. Your
Yeah.
children
You
would
gonna
definitely like it. Yeah, let me go ahead and look. I'm putting it in my mouth. I'm not doing this. This ain't the white line or pink line.
You're
Anyway,
not snorting it.
here we go.
Taste it.
It's like a candy, man.
Doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't it have that berry taste with the sweetness? I'm telling you, it's all
It's like
star.
candy. Anyway,
It's
ow. Anyway,
no,
yeah, it's
not
good. It's
Cameo,
good.
Not cameo.
Yeah, not
Oh,
cameo. You're gonna see me walking around here with the red thing on my crotch. But anyway, here we go. So we're gonna go. So make sure you check that out. That's over on SambaTree.com. And I want to show you this as well. The hibiscus. Oh, the juice. I'll get to the juice here. It's hot, y'all. Listen, don't be giving your children, or don't I want me a good juice or whatever. Go down to the Wawa, go down to the 7-Eleven. Let me get some sugary things. Stop doing that. Okay, stop doing that. And if anybody out here is drinking Tang, give me your address. I will drive to your house and slap you, okay? You shouldn't be drinking
Kool-Aid.
any of that, okay?
Yeah,
But
don't
there
do
are natural alternatives out here, and like many places, we do too. We have some great options. 100% juice, but not only that, it's no additives at all. No additives, no preservatives, nothing like
sugar.
that at all. No extra
no added
sugars.
sugar, yeah.
No added sugars. We got soursop, mangoes in the house, guavas in the house, and then we got the coconut water as well. So make sure you stock up. It's getting hot. You better get you something good to drink, okay?
Yeah.
And why not make it natural? The other thing is the hibiscus. Hibiscus, I actually posted about that. I talked about that recently on some platform. I don't know. Hibiscus, one of the benefits of it, the red in the hibiscus, what it does, it helps to relax your blood vessels. And it also is tied directly to relaxing those blood vessels in your brain, which helps you to feel relaxed.
Yeah.
Okay. So make sure you check that out. Okay. The hibiscus, if you're someone that's dealing with that high blood pressure thing, you might want to check out the hibiscus and add that to there. That same red, by the way, we talked about this in the post. That same red chemical, well, I say chemical, that compound or whatever you want to call it, that's in the hibiscus flower is the same red that you see like in watermelon, the same thing. It relaxes you. It calms you, okay? So you want to make sure you're adding these kind of things to your diet, okay? So again, the website is on your screen, it's SambaTree.com. And do you have anything else?
There's a lady making a drink that's looking really good with hibiscus. So I was going to send that to you.
All right, send it real quick. Come on, Android phone.
You know what? I always talk about my Android, bro.
See, we live in airdrop over here. Anyway, here you go.
You know what?
Let's see, we get this over
I
here.
know. What Sharon said, I didn't know they still made Tang. Sis,
Yes,
I didn't know they did either. Okay.
These
That's
people out here, man, still drinking that stuff, man. If you drinking that, I will. I'll just come right on over and soon as you hello, bam, slap. Anyway, here we go.
Check this lady out.
Let me get this up here on the screen.
I just found her page. I might have to check her out. Some of the drinks she makes, because I'm a drinker. Not alcohol.
Yes,
but
That's why I was like, clean that up.
Clean that up. Yeah, not alcohol. I just love all kinds of drinks. So.
I was like, Lord, y'all help me.
Welcome
Anyway.
back, my internet primas. Girl. So what's new with you guys? O sea, nada que ver, nothing new with me, except for the fact that I literally moved across the country in my car. Can you guys hear el tren? Estoy lista para hacerme este drink because, girl, I'm already sweating. I was craving some agua de Jamaica, but I wanted to make it a little bit more fun. This is about a third cup of Jamaica. I did rinse out my Jamaica, okay? No se preocupen, don't yell at me. It feels so crazy to me. I'm just in a different location now. It's still me and you, you know? Ahora sigue la fruta. I will say, coming from somewhere where it's not sunny like this all the time, and now being here, I feel like I'm gonna have to adjust to waking up and it just being another beautiful day over and over and over again, because back in Pennsylvania it's very much like you get rainy days most of the time, cloudy days, and then when you get a good week of nice weather, everyone's like, oh my god, next week is gonna be beautiful, we gotta be outside, we gotta plan something. It's just beautiful here every day. Like, that's really crazy or whatever, it's just nice every day. Like, me siento super grateful. Okay, what's new with you guys though? Like, let me not be self-centered. Any chisme? Any new people in your life? I want to know. I have an interview at a coffee shop next week, but I'm also in my luteal phase, so we'll see how that goes. Deme un toquecito. I'm gonna go grab the ice. Mamitas, I'm back. Oh, wait. Oh my god. I'm such a fake fan. I forgot the OG.
She's putting a little agave in there. She's muddling it up.
Ahora sí, con el hielo. I found this at grocery outlet the other day for $1, and I was intrigued because it's not only coconut water, but it's also coconut. Girl, it's coconut puree also. So it's kind of creamy. Like, it's not just coconut water. It looks like it's a little bit creamier, but there's no coconut milk in here, so let's see. I'm gonna do some of this. Como que me antojé de algo fresh, pero como creamy también. I'm gonna do just a little bit of coconut milk. Oh my god. Top it off with the Jamaica that's been brewing. If you close your eyes, it's really like you're at the beach.
Would y'all drink something like that?
Honestly, I'm such a fan of how the coconut milk and the Jamaica taste together. Final level boss Jamaica. Ooh.
My
coconut
goodness.
water, hibiscus, and coconut milk.
That looks good.
That looked pretty good.
That looks good.
That looked pretty good.
So,
So
yeah,
there you go. So
you
got your hibiscus at Samba Tree, the coconut water at Samba Tree, and make
yourself some beach.
this summer,
experiment a little bit. Experiment. Last thing, and you can.
I got to get.
Yeah. Last thing. We're in Arizona, so like I said, the heat here is on a different level here. But we wash our clothes and we dry them. Right. We got a dryer and we put it in there. But after a while, I've been noticing my son. He will put his jeans out there to dry out or whatever, and he just would do it or whatever. And I was like, wait a minute, you know what? I'm gonna start putting some clothes out there. So I washed my clothes. I put them out there. Man, listen, let me tell you something. I put those clothes out there. This is Arizona heat now. All right. This is Arizona heat. This is Arizona heat. By the time I'm finished hanging the clothes, they're pretty much dry. Like, I was like, hey, Team Truth, I knew it got hot out here. I didn't know it was like that. By the time I'm finished putting the clothes out, by the time I'm stepping in the house, I said, let me put my hand. I said, this shirt look dry. That shirt dry. That shirt is dry, y'all. Now, that's Arizona heat. Now, of course, so on average, so if I put my clothes in the dryer, if I was to put my clothes in the dryer, they're going to be in there for about an hour. If I put my clothes outside, they're only out there for 10, 15 minutes, and they're all dry. They're literally all dry in 10, 15 minutes. And I'm saving on electric, and I'm also saving on gas. Now, of course, that's here in Arizona, of course. But what I am saying to you is that our ancestors, our parents, our grandparents, see, they were onto something. Because what are the benefits of it? What's the benefits of exposing your clothes outside? What you remember during the COVID days, they would have things like, you just put your phone under this UV light and it will clean it. It will get rid of all the germs. You remember that? Well, outside, right? Outside, guess you got the biggest UV light in the galaxy right now in our system. And that's the sun. And why am I mentioning that? Because UV rays, one of the things it does, it kills off that bacteria. So if you are so when you hang your clothes out there, one of the things it does, you know how some of y'all growing up, and your parents or your grandparents, they would hang clothes out and then you would smell it and it just smells so fresh. Yeah, that freshness is coming from how the sun is killing off those that bacteria. So if you really want to have your clothes completely clean and that bacteria and all that, man, hang it out there. Challenge yourself and do that. That was something I remember seeing my mom doing it for a little bit, and then I don't know what happened. I think the line broke or whatever, and she stopped doing it. But my grandparents, they certainly would do that, and that's a tradition I want to bring back for my house. So I told them, I sent a text to all of them. I said, y'all hang them clothes out there. Let's save some money out here, okay? And hang them clothes out here. Now, if you got brown stripes in your drawers, I don't know if the sun can fix that, okay? That's a whole different, you need 2 sons, okay? You need the sun, the moon, and the stars for some of that, okay? You need to rerun that thing. If you bringing it out and it's still got those tire streak marks on there, you need to run them things through again or throw them out and get you some more, okay? But no, but yes, use that, okay? Go ahead and do that. Put them clothes out there, and it will not only make your clothes feel fresh, but it's killing off that bacteria. All right? So yes, that's something our parents, our ancestors, let's bring some of them good things back and let's build on that, okay? And save some money in the process. All right? That's all we have for y'all. Thank you so much for joining us today, my wife and I, this evening. Share this video with people who may have missed it, or share it with your family or whatever. If you have any questions at all, I know we said we were going to do a call in, but she gone, so I can't take no call. But anyway, we did answer a lot of questions. But if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us over on Samba Tree. We'll be more than happy to answer your questions, okay? It may take us a minute, but we'll get to you, okay? Thank you so much for tuning in, you guys. Listen, you guys take care, and we will be seeing you again soon. Take care and enjoy the rest of your day or evening, whatever it is that you're watching this. Take care. I'll see you again soon.